it's it makes so much sense. I mean, look at the kid, man. He's doing his thing. He it, it just makes sense. It just makes perfect sense that he would be, he would be the one. I don't know why it would be any other way. It's just it makes perfect sense. And the way, oh man, I don't, I really don't know how else to, to sell it to you guys. It he's he he is the one. Now, with that said, just slide that to the side. Welcome to Late Night Live. We are chilling. We talked about Titans a second ago. We are talking about, that's right, the city of Freeland right now. So before we get started, right behind me, artist sponsored wall, Geek Fine Art, Dave Farrar. Big shout out to you. Check him out on Instagram. So late L Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people, today? Oh, yeah, coming with another wonderful episode of Late Night Live and On Screen. That's right, we are here to talk about TV, movies, all that jazz, and get her done. So, the TV show we're talking about tonight is, of course, the one, the only, Jefferson Pierce himself, Black Lightning. Um, before I get really started off, I'm gonna wipe the past the sweat, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm wiping the past the sweat. So I wipe the past the sweat. Here's why I'm wiping the past the sweat. Because at the end of the episode, you see Henderson shows. We realize that, oh snap, Henderson has been fighting for the people all this time. And the pastor said, he quotes, he references the Bible, saying, "And the scales fell from his eyes, and Saul became Paul." And technically, that's not an apt statement for Chief Henderson, because Chief Henderson has never been blind. Chief Henderson has just revealed to you that this whole time he has been supporting a rebellion. So he was never blind. He was never Saul to become Paul in the first place. But anyway, slide that to the side. Big shout out to the chat. We got Jess and King in the house. What up, baby girl? Nice to see you. Glad you in the house. Yo, we here. We here right now. So it's good to see you. Glad you're in the house. Um, so I guess the best way the best way to handle this episode is to go on and just touch on the fact that I love that there are multiple villains kind of running parallel, in congruency. That probably ain't no word. But anyway, they're running together, they're running apart, they're butting heads. And I'm talking about basically your boy Bill Duke. And we also have Tobias Whale. Now, with that said, that's not the only thing. We got Tobias Whale, we got Bill Duke, we got the ASA outside of Bill Duke, because we'll talk about, the whole thing that went down in the school today. And we also still have the Markovians. On top of having Lala out there. I love this. I love having a show where there's multiple villains, tons of moving parts, and you never know when the shoe will drop. So big shout out, big kudos to this show for being good in its third season when many CW superheroes struggle in their third season. And I'll just leave it at that. This show is still coming with it. Um, we're seeing a pretty good look at what could be an outcome from a city that would have a population of powered people. The government would definitely make some move, of some sort. There's not like the government's not going to do anything at all. You know what I'm saying? The government would have to step in some way, shape, or form. With that said, the way that the police department fell in line has always rubbed me the wrong way. And the way Henderson was just doing his thing, it was gnawing at me. But after seeing what we saw at the end of this episode with him working with the rebellion and kind of helping them out, I am it pleases me to know that Henderson is still on our side. He still got us, and you see that he's bringing in people. He's like, look, I got you 2 Bits. Big shout out to 2 Bits for being out there in them streets, hustling, doing what he got to do. I like how he threw that tomato. He was like, I saw something. What you want me to say? So I love that. And then um, also seeing him bring the pastor in is going to be a great way. It's very similar to like House and Powers of X, where you see many different many different black people from different facets of black culture and blackness working together because they got bigger fish to fry. You know, you got the street cats, you got the police chief, you got the pastor, you got the dude that's a hustler, you know, selling DVDs and CDs and, you know, fake purses. They all working together because that's the only way we're going to get ASA up out of here. So I love that. Also, big shout out to Little Miss Chocolate in the chat. What up, what up, what up? That's right. Hashtag get lit. Hashtag them flames. Hashtag Black Lightning. We doing this. So we going to hit the pass the sweat. Plat out. Let's get it going. Khalil is no joke. Khalil presents a very interesting problem, not only for his foes, but for Bill Duke in his control of him. We don't know exactly how he's controlling him. Like, we know he's controlling his mind. We know he's kind of like controlling his mannerisms and thoughts, and like he doesn't even know that he killed his own mom. It was just a person. But it's kind of like trying to put a leash on a rabid dog. I don't know if Bill Duke can control him in the way he thinks he can. And I think that's going to create a problem for him. I do. I think it's going to create a big problem for him down the line. I see I see the Pierce family being a problem for him because there's no way that you can keep these people separate and not talking about your interactions with them separately together forever. It just seems weird. Families don't do that. That's not how people really talk. Justin King says, I'm like, where is Lala though? We see 2 Bits before Lala. And yes, very current X-Men run. Yeah, definitely. Big shout out to the current X-Men run. I will be reviewing Dawn of X #1, which is basically all the issue #1s. Fallen Angels pops tomorrow. So we'll get that, and I'll do that this weekend. And I'll make my decision after reading these 6 issues, 5, 6 issues, whatever, because it's like New X-Men, Marauders, X-Force, all of them, Fallen Angels, all that stuff, Excalibur and stuff. I'll make my decision then on if I'm going to continue or if I'm like, peace. But seeing them be manipulated separately by Bill Duke is something that I'm like, this isn't going to last forever. And maybe Bill Duke is like, shoot, I don't need it to last forever. I just need it to last long enough to get what I need from Lynn, and then I can destroy them all. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe, or maybe not I don't believe in, I don't trust in those suits that Bill Duke gave to Jefferson Pierce and to Jen. I don't trust them. Not a man nutter. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. No. With that said, I want to see where we see Grace fall, because I thought Grace was going to take an L this episode, for real. I thought Khalil was going to go straight to Anessa's house and find Grace, but of course we saw Anessa take on Khalil at the sort of at the gates or at the weakness in the wall. My question to you about that fight scene, I enjoyed the fight scene. Do you think that they downplayed Anessa's power? I know that Khalil has super strength as well, but it seems like Anessa didn't bring the oomph like she does. Of course she's Thunder. She should have, or maybe she's trying not to use her Thunder power so that people don't connect the dots that Thunder is Blackbird. So maybe that's the case. But she seemed a little slow. But at the same time, he did hit her with the poison, so that could be a factor as well. Big shout out to Hot McFly in the house. What up? What up? What up? Black Lightning was awesome. Yes, good episode. I'm gonna talk about Tavon in a second, which kind of hurt, but good episode overall. Um, that's right. That's right. Justin King hashtag Comic Life. What up? What up? So we okay. Tavon is a character that of course, is kind of like a recurring character, but I've always loved the insight that he brought to the show. I've always thought he was great. He's always had kind of like a word of encouragement or a word of reflection for you, even though he was a young cat. And seeing how he was ousted in the last episode and now brought in kind of like back to the forefront for a second was saddening, because when I saw that video at the first beginning of this episode and then knowing the name of the episode, I was like, Tavon about to catch a L. And, of course, Tavon caught a L. And it's sad because I know his death is going to serve a greater purpose in motivating the people of Freeland to rise up and fight back. I know that seeing Jefferson Pierce, a teacher, father, family man, motivator in the community, beat down at the hands of the ASA is going to motivate the people. But I really wish it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I wish Tavon didn't die like that. You know what I'm saying? And to see his parents have to go through what they went through, where it's like you send your kid to school and then he just never comes back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine my son going, to wherever and then I never see him again. You know what I'm saying? And the next time I see him, I see his body. You know what I'm saying? That's got to be just the stress on that has got to be overwhelming. Hot McFly said, I love the ending scene though. Yeah, the ending scene definitely energized me. I'm definitely subscribing now because you're an awesome superhero. Yo, thank you. Hey, yo, big shout out. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for rolling through. Cool. We'll be talking, we talking Titans. We're talking Black Lightning now, and we'll be talking Mandalorian a little bit later after this. Justin King says, I see YouTube is divided on the fight. I am too, because some say that it's Khalil is trained and Anissa isn't trained, but also they say Anissa lifted a tank. What the F? Yes. And that's kind of where I fall too. Is it a situation where he hit her with the poison and she was already kind of slowed down? Or is it a situation where the writers wanted to make the fight fall Khalil's way, so they just wrote her kind of whack? Now, we know Khalil has mad more fighting skills than her because he's been downloading stuff in his brain like the Matrix. So we know that. But I feel like if she would have got one good hit on him, like one good tank moving hit on him, it would have threw him across the forest. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, either Anissa was slipping, or, and I'm going to bring this up in a second, or it was something else that I've been talking about since season 1. Anissa overrates herself. She overestimates her power, and she thinks she's indestructible. And that has gotten Anissa in trouble more than once. And I think this might be a case where, she's smelling herself a little much. She's reading her papers. She's reading the news clippings. She sees good and well those graffiti writings and everything, and she feeling herself. She like, can't nobody touch me. So she probably goes into the fight thinking like, who gonna mess with me? And caught her slipping. It was like Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson went in there slipping, and Buster Douglas caught him. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's a situation too, because I've been a large voice speaking about how Anissa kind of walks around thinking that she's indestructible when she really needs to step her game up. I know she's bulletproof, when she uses her power, but that does not mean that you cannot get touched. And I think just like the Hulk in Infinity War, I think she learned a tough lesson, a real lesson tonight. So Yeah, I think that's where I land on that. I think it's one of those situations where a little bit of A and a little column B. I mean, column A and column B. Column A meaning the writers just wanted Khalil to win that fight, period. And column B, where she has always overestimated her kind of sense of invulnerability and kind of walked around like she can't be hurt and can't nobody tell her nothing. And, she's just going to walk in anywhere and do whatever she wants because no one can stop her. And I think she learned tonight that, yo, you got to get your hand game up, man, because Khalil got hands. Um, Hot McFly says, LOL, yeah, Anissa is doing good, though. I'm ready to see Black Lightning get back out there. Yeah, it's about that time for we saw when he was getting beat down in the beginning, I mean at the front of the school, that he was about to power up. My question to you is, and matter of fact, my question to you, Hot McFly, Low Mix Chocolate, Jess, do you think if he would have powered up then that the school would have rose up behind him in support, or do you think they would have turned on him since there's a slight chasm between humans and metahumans at this time? Do you think they would have been like, yo, Black Lightning, he's here for us, and stood up and all been kind of in unison? Or do you think they would have been like, yo, Black Lightning is the reason ASA is here? You know what I'm saying? And we don't want those problems. You know what I'm saying? So that's something interesting that I'd like to pick your brains on. With that said, how are you feeling also about Lynn with this substance abuse problem that's coming on pretty fast due to the, I guess you could say, just snake-like nature of Bill Duke, and also the evil white doctor. I can't remember her name, but she's evil and white. Um, um, how do you think that plays out, and how do you think she responds or reacts when she realizes that Bill Duke did this to her? Do you think she'll ever be able to get clean? Um, because kind of like when it got you, when that monkey is on your back, it ain't it ain't always a guarantee that you're gonna be able to get it off. You know what I'm saying? When that it be calling me and calling me. You know what I'm saying? It might be calling her, and she up in the middle of the night taking little pills, and Jefferson Pierce, she like, go back to bed. I'm gonna go to work. Hiding and stuff. Once again, this is a situation where the family needs to be closer than they've ever been, and they just they need to get it together, because right now Jen's not speaking, Jefferson ain't speaking, Lynn ain't speaking, and Anissa, they need to get together and just be a family, because they need each other now more than they may have ever needed each other, except maybe when they were at the cabin and everybody was coming for them. Big shout out, Justin King says, oh my God, hot Black Lightning doing nothing after getting out. It feels like such a waste. He's absent with his family's emotions and absent in the fight. What is he even doing? That's a good question. I, I don't know if he feels lost. I don't know if he feels powerless. Some people on the news have kind of blamed him for this situation. So maybe he feels, kind of, I guess, responsible for all this. Justin King also says they would have been afraid at that time because the years of distrust and aliases. Yeah, I guess so. I guess the kids probably would have been, they'd have been like, what? You're Black Light? What? So yeah, maybe they wouldn't have. And Jesse King says Linda's canceled. First alcohol, now this. She already had an addictive personality before the mind control, and now she's omitting information to Jeff. How she handled Tobias was wrong. Yep. You said it perfectly. The omitting stuff to Jeff is where she gets in a lot of problems, because you leave yourself out there vulnerable without your family unit to help you. You know what I'm saying? So now she out there talking to Tobias Well. She out there like, I mean, Tobias Well is an amazing character. I love him. But the way she handled that was wrong, man. The way, like the whole, and then trying to sort of slightly boss up with Bill Duke after the fact. It just, I don't know, man. Lynn need to get it together, man. You need to throw some holy water on her or something like that. But real quick, speaking of people that's tripping, what's up with the Purdy? Now, tell me, either in the chat or in the comments, tell me, did I miss something where all of a sudden the Purdy are not down with Black Lightning and Thunder and everything? Because ever since the beginning of this season, it seemed like they got the illest beef. Like they are not feeling each other. And I'm like, didn't they save your baby though? Didn't they stop? Like, I'm trying to figure out how these people that saved you and saved your baby and kept you hidden, now all of a sudden you got problems with them? They bringing you money and stuff? Like, really though? Like every time they always got an attitude with them. I'm like, bro, for real though? Like, I don't know, man. The Purdy is a perfect example of how, like, what I'm saying, sometimes it be your own people. You can't even help them because you see, like, old girl, baby would have been dead. Now baby live and she's still tripping. Anyway, shouts out to Little Miss Chocolate. Yeah, like Lynn, she bugging, son. And the Purdy, they bugging too. So miss me with that. Um, Lastly, I want to talk about Jefferson Pierce, since we've already touched on him a couple of times, sort of. But how do you see him kind of overcoming his, I don't know, depression? How do you see him overcoming his own stumbling blocks in this season? Because it seems like he is in a rut. You know what I'm saying? It seems like he's stuck, and for some reason he is not. He's just not getting past it. He's not getting over the hump, and he's not able to move on or rise above it. And I don't know. Maybe seeing his daughter in trouble, or maybe seeing the other young brother, the brother with the curls. You know what I'm saying? We knew something was special about that dude. You don't bring a dude on the show that look all pretty with the curls and everything, and he ain't going to do nothing. Come on now. But we'll see how that plays. Are they going to be? Because I don't know. Does Jen know that Khalil is still alive? I don't think she know that, because if she finds out, does that create an issue between her, Khalil, and her and new dude Curly Man? So I know he's got a name, the Curls, but the Curls out got a better sales pitch than the Girl Scouts. um, but I want to see how that plays, if she's able to maybe get through to him, because it seems like Khalil is just completely non-white, son. He's done. But back to Jefferson Pierce. He's the head of the household, man. We need him to get up and get his girls to talk to him, listen to him, compare notes, be like, oh, Bill Duke said this. Well, he did this, and he told me this, and then she could be like, he did this, and he came here, and then all of them could be like, oh snap, Bill Duke is playing all us, son. He playing all us, and he lying. So then that can, they can get together and they be a unified front. You know what I'm saying? Hot McFly says, well, I know that Blackbird is starting some underground organization, and I'm ready for it. Yeah, definitely, I'm ready for that. Little Miss Chocolate says maybe they want to be left out the war, afraid of getting found out about their own powers. They're trying to protect their neighbor. All right, okay, I guess, and that's kind of one of those things where fear of losing what you have kind of creates an adverse effect against others that you could assist. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I see where you're coming from. I see, but yo, man, these people in Freeland, they ain't got nowhere else. All they got is you. You know what I'm saying? All they got is you. but with that, the Purdy don't really have any issues on the other side. I mean, I don't think the ASA will really be on them like that. We need them. And Jefferson needs his family. You know what I'm saying? A father needs his family to be strong. The family needs the father to be strong. Once they combine and come back together, I think they'll be a very solid unit. Especially now we know where Tobias coming from. Tobias on something like, look, I know who you is. But look, I'm gonna kill your husband. I ain't even gonna worry about you. I ain't even gonna do nothing to you. How about you just give me your husband so I can kill him? Chitty chitty bang bang, and then I'll leave you alone. Um, Also, shouts out to the MB4 syringe or whatever, because Tobias was looking bad. Like, I don't know how that syringe also gave my man a new beard and lineup, but that's some good that syringe. I need one of them joints. Like you take it like, oh snap, yeah, everything get hooked up. Um, How McFly says the people in Freeland need work, needs work with the good metas, and come together as a community. Yeah, and hopefully this whole issue with Tavon and of course Jefferson Pierce starts to push them together. Hopefully, because they have a huge common enemy in the ASA, and it doesn't seem like the ASA are leaving anytime soon. That's for really real, for really really real. Um, so they gonna have to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Look, collectivize our powers, and just remember, like the saying goes, people shouldn't be afraid of their government. Government should be afraid of their people. You know, no matter how many ASA troops there are not more than the people that are in Freeland. They don't know Freeland like that, and Freeland can stand up for what they want and who they are. With that, said, I'll end off with this. I know this is a show about one city, but I would like to see a larger national conversation. Like, what is the rest of the news and the nation saying about Freeland? Like, what is DC saying about Freeland, or New York, or somewhere in Kentucky, or Chicago, or LA? Like, what are these other cities saying about Freeland? Because there are metas in other cities. So, I don't know. Guys, holler at me. I'm going to holler at you. Down in them comments. Let's talk about Black Lightning. I'm interested to see where this goes now that it seems like we got a committee. You know, we got a coalition of the willing, ready to fight. We got Henderson, we got we got our hitters, we got Two Bit, we got the pastor, you know what I'm saying? We got all we need. Big shout out, Justin King said that hair change was wild. True that. Yeah, you ain't never lied. So guys, you can hit me up at thatnerdsoul.com. That's right. Check me out right there. You can get my podcast, music, t-shirts from shop.thatnerdsoul.com. You can get yourself a NERDSoul t-shirt. You can get a X-Men t-shirt, the Krakoa t-shirts, hoodies. What other shirts? We got shirts with milestone characters. We got all that stuff. Super dope. Check them out. Mad simple, fly, fresh flavor. Also, big shout out to Thought Crimes, big shout out to Arcatron, big shout out to Blurdish, big shout out to Atomic Podcast, and of course, Atomic Nerd here on this channel. Big shout out to What Had Happened Was on this channel. And guys, thank you so much for supporting this and also the new NERDSoul Gaming. Big shout out to Arcatron and C Brown that's doing it. They're playing some dope games and breaking down some news, and they're having some dope stuff dropping. So, brother, it's expanding. Also, big shout out to the Patreon supporters like Tim I, like Thought Crimes, like Enrique Carrion. All you guys are awesome and dope. So, with that said, guys, from me to you, thank you for chilling. Thank you for watching. And of course, until about 15 minutes from now when we talk about The Mandalorian, y'all stay real and wait until next Monday because peace. Ho said peace. Oh, I said peace. Come on. I said peace. Yeah. To the left said peace. Oh, to the right said peace. To the front said peace. Oh, I bring it back, said I bring it back, said peace. Peace. Come on, a peace. A peace. Come on, a peace. What? Come on, I said peace. Ha, I do. I said a peace. Come on, I said peace. What? Come on, I said peace. Ha, come on, I said